What up, peeps? It's Houston Texans live right here. Today is the day. My boys are on TV right now. So, but we want to come at you as always. It's our Sunday. Me and my boy Big Darkness, and we're here to make sure that we know and share what we know and kind of move forward from there. But it's been, one of those long weeks, and so here we are again, just to kind of share some things we've been talking about. So, what's happening with you, Big Mike?
I just want to say, as always, what's up to everybody out there? How y'all doing? It is Sunday, and Houston, Texas is playing. So, Robert's kind of sitting on the edge of that chair. But everything's going fine with me, man. I just want to say congratulations, my brother. You just won another pro show at 63 years old, man, and not looking like a 63-year-old. So you might have to drop down, man, and start competing against some 50 and 40s again, my brother. I hate to tell you that, but I know that's in the back of your. I know that's in the back of your mind, man, because hey, you killing it, man, and your body's looking good. So it's not looking like an old mature guy. It's looking like a young guy. And, I wouldn't tell you that. I wouldn't come out and say, hey, man, good win, move on. But anyway, let's talk about that win, man. How was it? Where was the show and how did you feel going on stage again and competing? This is your second show, man, that you won. Yeah. So let's get into some of the details.
Yeah, well, first, if I have to get a shout out, I give a shout out to the promotion, Tim Gardner production up there in San Antonio. The venue was nice. Everything was up to par. They treated the athletes properly, which makes it a lot easier to attend shows when everybody's going to be together and have operations running as intended. Exactly. And it was by clockwork, man. Everything worked as intended. As far as my prep for the show, as we've been talking a little bit here before, is that it's been a long prep for me because I hadn't done this, like I stated before, in 5 years. So I started in February, just kind of making sure my meals and stuff was clean, and then I turned it on in March and came on up until this point. But after I left Florida, I had a 3.5 week turnaround to where I still needed to maintain, and that was a little bit testy. You know what I mean? Because you come out of a show, and at my age, I wasn't sure if my body was going to be able to hold the same size and the same look and stuff like that. And I can say I got better, actually. And I think the reason why I got better because I wasn't at my best at my last show. Yeah. That's the only thing else, because only thing I did different was just I went completely cold turkey on my food. So I made sure that there was no additional stuff. Mm-hmm. And my cardio went up a little bit to where I was doing a little bit more cardio to kind of put myself in a bigger deficit. And I just kept eating, so I wasn't hungry. So, but all that worked as intended. And after I went on stage and saw the pictures, and not that I'm like this amazing 60-year-old person, but I noticed that the people that I'm competing against at my age group, that I feel as though the competitive side of me is telling me to still compete in your age group, but then go back and do a second opening, with the 40-year-olds. So I've learned that to qualify for the Masters Olympia, you have to win as a 40-plus guy, meaning that they don't take 50s and they don't take 60s. So even though I'm winning, it doesn't really put me into anything. So I figure if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to have to take this body and put it on stage with the 40-year-olds, people who are 23s, 25 years younger than me. Exactly. But you know what I mean? So, but it's okay because, I've watched the 40-plus group the other day, and I saw some of them that I could beat. I thought I could be in the top 5 while I was there, people who I saw. Now the kids got more, they got more muscle density, hardness and stuff like that. But you and I talk about it all the time. I'm not going to push my body with all those different type of PEDs. Right. Exactly. Yeah, just to be there. I do it for fun, and I also try to stay as healthy as possible behind it. So my whole thing now is just to focus on trying to get my foods back into me, reintroducing things real slowly. And as you know, we have reverse dieting. Right. And for those of you out there who don't understand reverse dieting, basically what it is that after a show, you don't want to go and engorge yourself because your tummy is small already. And if you're trying to eat too much food, what happened is that you just kind of get that tightness, that fullness the whole time. And it's probably the most uncomfortable feeling because I've experienced it, but I've learned from it. And so now I'm using this thing we call reverse dieting. And after the show, you're all going to go out and have something that you've been craving and wanting to have.
Mm-hmm.
But after you do that for your Sunday, on Monday, you will deplete yourself once again for 2 days of carbs, just so you can clean your system out again, because you didn't have your ice cream, you didn't have your cookie that you wanted, your brownie, your burgers, whatever it may be on Sunday, and a little bit of it Saturday night. So tomorrow will be a depletion day. Tuesday will be a depletion day. And then with the reverse dieting thing is where you add 25 grams of carbs per day to your protein stack until you get to your maximum carb level. My maximum carb level is going to be about 250, 300. So I will slowly add carbs back up until I get to that. That way my body can utilize the carbs as intended, instead of just taking in a whole bunch of carbs and your body fills up and you're like,
right,
you got all this,
not all tight and everything.
Yeah, the gas tank
Mm-hmm.
is full, but yet you keep putting stuff in it. So you want to slowly put it back into it, and it'll keep you from rebounding. And what I mean by rebounding is that you eat too much too fast, you gain all that weight back instantly, and your body's not ready.
And you see that quite a bit. You see people after their show, then about 2 weeks later, you're like, when did you compete?
Yeah. So, and if you still look like, if you look like you didn't compete 2 weeks after your show, then you've done something wrong big time, right? And so most important thing is still doing cardio, but not as much. It's all about, people try to say that, you can lose weight without doing cardio. Yeah, you can, but it depends on your body mass. If you got more muscle tissue than you have fatty tissue, you're not going to be able to do that. So you're going to have to do some type of carbs to help burn off that extra. Hello, QC.
QC, how you doing, man?
Burn off those extras. But I've learned from the past. I know how to do it, and it's not like you're starving yourself or anything. You're just eating more protein until you do the carb thing, and you introduce it slowly, and then you won't gain all the weight back so fast. But always, always, always implement your few minutes, few hours, or whatever is a cardio, and then that way your body will, stay slowly reversing itself back to its normal food intake.
So you're going, and now with that being said too, that was your last show for the year, am I right?
Yeah.
So now you're going into your off season. What's your plans at this point?
So my off season will be clean gain. So when people say clean gain, it's meaning that I will just double the food intake that I've been eating right now, because it's not like I was starving. It's not like I was craving anything. The toughest part of the whole thing is peak week. And so that's where you're moving everything out but fats and protein. But now I go back to what I was eating. I mean, I eat wraps with chicken in it. I eat my eggs and stuff with slices of bread that I put inside and put the egg whites in there and on the middle, and just cook it up like that, and may put some cinnamon in it, and you got some little cinnamon taste to that whole bread with the eggs and stuff like that. I will definitely have I love popcorn, and popcorn is probably my pre-meal, before I train, because it's instant carbohydrates, and it's something that's going to allow me to have something light on my tummy, something heavy. I'll go back to eating my grits. I go back to eating my eggs. I go back to eating my chicken. I go back to eating all of the things I was eating before. My ice cream, I have that, but my ice cream is made from my protein powders and stuff like that. How do you plan to increase your calories with more meals? So basically, increasing my calories will be dividing my calories always with my first meal is always my largest calorie count. If you're a calorie counter, it'll be about 700 calories. My total day will be about 3,000 calories. You don't have to eat a whole lot of food. You just got to eat the right foods if you're trying to put on muscle.
Exactly.
That's all. So it will be a big meal, and then everything else to kind of taper down from there. At the end of the day, I want to have a small 300-400 calorie meal before I go to bed, and then I get up and I start all over again. But that's pretty much how I'll do it. I usually go 5 meals. I may go 6 meals, but that 6th meal will be a shake or something. And then that way I have that extra protein going in. But I try to eat my proteins as much as I can Of course, I will always have a shake after I train. So, that's for me is 48 grams of protein right there.
Yeah.
And so I can kind of go from there. I always try to find my goal weight. My goal weight is how much protein I want to intake.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And that's the thing too. Another thing about you, Robert, that I noticed too, you and we have to, as we get older too, you stay close to shape, not contest shape, but you stay in shape. So when you get ready for your show, it's not real hard. Like some people, they gain so much weight and they come, you don't really notice, you don't really realize how much muscle they have because they have to come down so much and so fast. Where you took your time, you had a strategy because you work out every day, you do your same thing, you're on the consistency thing that we talk about. And I think that's one of your keys, and a lot of people don't do it like that. So you might want to kind of touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. So what you just said is true, is that if you don't go too far extreme, your body will respond, right? I mean, it's kind of like whatever calorie intake that you're doing, your body will adjust to that calorie intake. And then that's your calorie intake. So if you're trying to lose weight, just say you're trying to lose weight and you're eating 2,500 calories a day, your body has adjusted to that 2,500 calories. So now you need to go 500 calories. As you increase your workouts and all those things, your cardio and all that stuff, your body will then go down and maintain 2,000 calories. Now you have a choice. Do I want to say plateau right there, which we call maintaining diet plans, or do I want to lose more weight? If that's the case, now you got to drop 500 more, because your body has this tendency to want to go into homeostasis, and they want to balance itself out and say, this is good for me. But then, if you want more weight loss, you just go into a deficit. Your body will do all of the things it has to do to go back into homeostasis. And it's kind of a cycle. And so I just try to maintain my calorie intake to the size that I want to be. Now, as far as QC, will you do more carbs before workouts? No, I won't do more carbs. It's not really necessary. While you sleep, QC, your body glycogen level automatically start to produce for you. And it's believe me, it's enough to get you through a workout. And that's why some people train on an empty stomach, because of the glycogen buildup that comes into your muscles when you're sleeping. But, it's always good to, when you first get up in the morning, at least for me, I always try to get some cold water in me to raise my metabolic rate, number one. And then if I'm going to do any type of cardio before I train, then that's where that, protein synthesis kick in. You want to have some protein, powder protein, like your shakes and stuff like that, and get on the treadmill or whatever your cardio style is. And that way you won't break down your muscle tissue while you're doing cardio on a so-called empty stomach. So get some protein in your system. But other than that, no, I won't increase anything. That old thing about people saying, oh, I'm going to do leg day tomorrow, so I'm a carb up. None of that shit matters. That's nothing. That's a lie. It's a myth. None of that stuff happens.
I know people used to get mad at me, say, man, you need to carb up, you need to eat. And I'm like, hey, man, look, I'm doing it look like I'm losing any muscle or anything, or losing size, and I'm working out all morning. It's just, it's a myth. It's definitely
it's all a myth. So no, you don't have to eat extra. Now, when people will fight you on this, they will say, well, what about runners? They seem to do this large carb up thing. Well, those guys are going to go run for 30, 40 miles. So, you know what I mean? That's why they carb up, so that when they carb up and they burn that off within the first 15 miles, now they're using their fats as a source of energy.
Right. That's why their body looks like that.
Yeah. Like and that's towards the end of the race. And it's called slow burn. Slow burn is when your body's using your fats, and that's that last energy that they have to get through those races. So that's a different concept that people will argue with you about. But when you're talking about being sedentary and you're just going to the gym and you're lifting weights, your muscles don't need this crazy endorphin of a bunch of carbohydrates to say, okay, now here I go. I'm going to eat all this food before I go train, because it doesn't work that way. And one last thing about that, QC, is that remember that your body takes about 2 hours to utilize your foods that you put in your system before you get to the gym anyways. And 9 out of 10 people will try to eat right before they go to the gym.
Before they go. Don't work.
And they end up throwing up, or they still feel tired and weak because the muscles the food hadn't turned into an energy source for the muscles. So just make sure that you be smart about it, realizing that, you know, your body will respond to your training level, and just go into the gym and be consistent, and you can grow. The most important thing I would say is always, always, always get protein in your system after you train, because that's our amino acids. That's what build muscle tissue. And because in the gym, you're not building muscle. Remember that. We're breaking down muscle.
Breaking it down.
And then you go home and then you eat and you make your body feel better. That's pretty much how it works.
Nice.
Carbohydrates is just a gasoline to the system. It keeps us going through the day so we can work and so we can stay focused at the work.
And that's where people get confused at. Hey, you know, I got to stay away from carbs. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
No, it's all about PFCs, protein, fats, and carbs.
There it is.
Carbs don't put weight on you. Carbs give you energy. Carbs make your body hold.
You just heard it from a champion bodybuilder, 63 years old. People looking like a 35-year-old stage. Check out his pictures. Oof. I'm telling you, check out his pictures. If you check out his pictures, you're like, oh my God. Hey, so I'm telling you, man, I'm so proud of Rob, man, the way he looked, man.
I appreciate it.
And the things that he's done this year, man. It's not easy. People think, oh, he went, no. What he did at his age, at any age, is not easy. But to do it at 63 years old, it's tough. I'm telling you, it's something tough. Mentally, he had to battle the old man demon, you know, and he had physically, you got to train smarter. And like he says, he trains to be healthy as well. So those are the things you guys got to look at, man. I'm telling you, I mean, I commend him, and yeah, I'm letting him know, and I'm letting y'all know it's not easy doing what he did, and I'm so proud of him, man. To be a pro and to be a champion and to win, that's not easy. It's tough. Congratulations, brother.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And I was telling people the other day at the show, people was like, man, I can't believe you're 63 years old and you're up there. I go, well, no, it's a lot to do with genetics too, man. You know, you gotta you look back at your family tree and you see how that all changes, man.
Exactly.
That's just where it is. My grandmother, who died at 98 years old and never took a prescription in her life.
Yeah.
And everybody thought she was in her 70s because she can get out there and mess around in the yard, mow the lawn, do all those things.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of the tree that I came from. Both sides of my family are Cherokee Indians. So my great grandmother on both sides. So I think all of that mixture stuff had something to do with it. But just staying healthy. I was never been a big partier. I've never been a big drinker. The drug things, you know, we've all tried something here and there. And that's just kind of how we lived our lives back then, especially in sports. You know, I'll try it. What is that, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not sitting here saying I'm Mr. Angel and I lived all this perfect life. But I was aware when to turn it off. That's the most important thing. Like, I have two drinks and I'm good. That's all. Let's just turn it off. I never smoked, never done any of that stuff. So I feel pretty good.
That was me. That was me, man. I tried it. I told my kids I did it. I smoked weed for like a month, gained 20 pounds, and that was it. I said, never again. And I never drank because I was always in the fear of that, not being able to conquer myself down the line and be in control. So I've never been a drinker at all. But yeah, man, nobody's perfect, man. You know, we all have some vices. But the thing is, what elevates the people to the top is the ones that said, hey, you know what? While y'all doing it, I'm doing something else to make myself better. I'm not putting you down because of what you do. I'm just saying, hey, in order for me to be the person I need to be, and I want to be at that level, then I ain't doing it. And, you know, I've had that conversation with a lot of people. I had that conversation with kids and tell them too. I said, hey, you know what? You can go out and hang out with your friends every night and you could be a D1 player, but sometimes just because you're a D1 player don't mean you're going to play D1 if you're not doing the other things and not hanging out and doing stuff. So, you know, it goes with what we do, you know, and that's the consistency and discipline. If you ain't got the discipline, you know that as well as I do, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. And as I always say, man, I've said this for the longest, is that you are who you hang out with. You become who you hang out with. And if your peeps are out there not caring about their health and their lifestyle, chances you're going to be in that same category, even though you don't want to, but we all try to find a place that we fit in. And I would just say, you know, look at your circle. make your circle the people who you want to be like, and
exactly.
life kind of it's a good way of doing it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, you know, man, like I said, I'm proud of you, man. I'm glad that, you know, I'm kind of glad that it's over now. You can kind of get back to normal life.
Yeah.
I know the missus is like, okay, you know, I'm in your corner, but hey, now we ain't gotta worry about getting up at 3 and things like that. So, you know, and
no more 3 o'clock.
And shout out to her as well, because you have to have somebody in your corner like that, man, to be able to do what you do. If you don't have that support system, man, that ain't gonna happen for you.
Yeah, it's important on all levels, from friends to home life, whatever it may be, you know, on all levels. But hey, QC, training heavy, man. I don't know what's training heavy. You know, I hear that question. I train to my comfortableness. You know what I mean? My 100 pounds could be your 50 pounds, and we're both going to get the same results.
Exactly.
So what I will tell you is this: I don't believe in putting a bunch of weight on my back and squatting. That's too many other ways to get size on your legs, even though it's one of the old school capital ones that you do for balancing up your body with size. I choose not to do that, especially at my age. I don't see the need to throw all that weight on my back just to try to make my legs bigger, because you can do hack squats, you can do leg press, you can do single leg extensions, you can do Bulgarian squats, you can do lunges. All those things is going to help create size without having all that shit on your back. And, you know, it is what it is, but some people believe it, and I don't disbelieve it. I just choose not to put that weight on my back. So my heavy, to me, man, as long as I'm able to do 12 to 15 reps on the heaviest weight that I can, then I'm lifting heavy. Everything about my stuff is I try to do each body part. I have 4 exercises, and I have 3 sets of 12 to 15. 2 of those sets are working sets, if you know what working sets are. My first set is just 12 to 15, but heavy, but getting my body to like work and feel a muscle. And then my working sets is when I get to 12 or I get to 15, whatever those numbers might be, I'm feeling it. Like, it's like, oh my God, I hope I can get this legs too. That type of feeling, that's how I train my body. On my small muscle groups, I may go 2 exercises, 3 sets. And I go to full sets, because my biceps, my triceps, and my shoulders all pretty much work in with a lot of other muscle groups. So we always have a primary and a secondary muscle group, and those shoulders and triceps and biceps get worked all the time. And, you know, they get worked all the time. If you're doing back, your biceps are totally involved. You know what I mean? So you don't have to have that single isolated bicep movement where you're doing 4 sets of that stuff. It's just crazy.
Exactly. Kind of add on to that too. I live for comfort. I live for safety now. I don't want any injuries. So all the heavy stuff that we probably did in our past, you know, that's mostly ego lifting. And if you like Robert said, if you train the right way, you'll gain muscle. You'll see people, man, even your top bodybuilders now that don't want to get injuries. You're seeing them, man, that they're not doing real heavyweight anymore. They're doing what's going to help them build muscle and train smart. I always tell people, train smart. Training heavy with poor form is going to get you injured. We talked about that before. So train smart. You may see me doing legs and you may think it's heavy, and then you'll see me doing chest and you see me, this dude, he's not going over 40, 45 pounds. You know, I have had some injuries, but I still have muscle, and I still, you know, keep my muscle up and everything. So it just depends on what you want to do. But training heavy, just to train heavy in the off season, I know I don't do it anymore, you know, and I'm not on my off seasons all through the year. So, and like Rob answered the question, you know, you train smart, you don't want to get any injuries. It's all about being longevity in this game. You want to be able to do it when you're 63. You want to be able to do it when you're 70 years old, 80 years old, 90 years old. And I've seen people doing it that big because they're trained smart.
Yeah, but that's all, man. That's all.
With that being said, man, I know your team's on, man. I know you're on the edge. So I don't think we have anything else. We answered all QC Muscles questions, man. We appreciate you, QC, coming on every week, man, and asking questions, man. And that's what we're here for, man, to make everybody better. From 8 to 80, man, we here to give our experiences and how we've done things, how not to do things, because we've done them like that as well. But We just want you to be more healthier, more fit, so you can fight off the demons and fight the weight demons, fight the food demons, and be a lot healthier. So with that being said, Rob, I have nothing else.
Hold on. QC, if you're still there, answer this question. Would you like to be a guest on the show next week?
Did he leave? Or is he taking his time?
Maybe he's thinking about it.
He's thinking about it. Yes, he said yes.
Cool. All right, QC. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to go into our comment section, right? And go into our comment section. No, hold up. I'm trying to find a way to where we can reach each other and then we can talk. Like, you know, via are you following one of us on Instagram? Okay.
I say yes, sir.
All right. So whomever you're following on Instagram, send us your information. Then we'll contact you so we can give you our numbers to connect you to our guest sheet. And that way we can get you all set up to come on with us on Sunday, and you can tell a little bit about yourself. Cool?
I look forward to that. QC.
All right, then. So we're going to go, peeps. QC, we'll see you on one of our Instagram pages, the legend Robert Johnson. And of course, okay, I'll look into it. All right, yeah. So I'm the legend Robert Johnson, and we got Big Darkness there, 6'9", right, Mike?
Big Darkness 5'9".
Yeah, Big Darkness.
On Instagram. There you go.
Yeah. So one of us will be there, the legend Robert Johnson, Big Darkness 5'9". So just come on down and let us know, and we'll contact you, and I'll give you my number. Then we can get you hooked up and get you on there so we can see who you are, brother.
There you go.
All right. So peace out. I'm going to go watch the Texans win. And
beat the Bears.
yeah. What they go, whatever the hell they do.
There you go.
But, yeah. But anyways, people out there, you guys be safe. Do the right thing. Make right decisions. Take care of yourself. Doesn't matter what anybody else think about you. Just to make good things happen for yourself and move forward. It's always going to be haters, but there's also going to be lovers out there. So just do you. All right. Peace out.
Deuces.